this is it right here. This is the Serger. So we have these in stock. There's excellent deals. So I'm going to have a giveaway during the video. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to be going through just features of this machine because you are going to be blown away. I mean, that's all I can say is blown away. And I'm going to be going over the differences later between this one and the blackface version that looks like the 8.7 series. And that one is the top of the line that has the Coverhem. And yeah, and then we're going to do our giveaway. And I have a fun announcement that we have a special guest coming up in about 2 weeks. Her name is Pam Mashey, so I'll tell you a little bit more about her and that. And here we go. So let me just say, hey, can you hear me now? Beverly says that you can't hear me. Can you hear me? Hello? Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a shout out. Hi, Karen. Hi, Jeannie. Oh, cool. Hi, Beverly. Thank you. I hope that's a yes that you can hear me now. Oh, good. Hi, Jeannie. Look at your cow. How cute. Hi, Ann from Houston. Oh, my gosh. So for those of you, oh, thank you, Pamela. Oh, you are so cute. And Carolyn. And Luana. Oh, my gosh. This is going to be fun today because I literally had a slumber party with this machine last night. And I stitch out every stitch on it. And normally I would be nervous about doing a live all by myself, but I'm happy that you guys are here to support me. And I'm confident in this machine. I am actually really, really loving it. So I think that it's very important to have good tools in your sewing room and be aware of the machines that are available on the market and the features that you have to help you achieve success in sewing and quilting and all of those things. So whether you're a garment sewer or a quilter, I think that a serger is definitely a must in your studio. I have done a quilt with a serger. It's totally possible. And these sergers go up to from 3 millimeter to 9 millimeter in stitch width. So you can check your seam allowance very easily. And yeah, so we'll get into like the what's different about these Bernina machines. So Jeannie says that she's interested in purchasing. Let us know where you're from, Jeannie. And you're not very familiar with what they do. So that's good. And I need to know that. So if you have a serger, you use it all the time, you're a total expert, tell me. I'm sure there's not going to be very many. But if you are, please do. And if you're a newbie in serging, I think that Bernina has something for everyone. So they do have all the price points. They also just came out with a new Bernette serger that is pretty phenomenal as well. So yeah, let me know your level and ask me questions too, because I think that that's fun. So when you get started, like say you've never even serged before, or and the different, okay, some people call it serging, some people call it overlock. It's the same thing. It's just the Europeans call it overlock and Americans call it serging. But basically, it's a professional finish to a seam, and there's also you use it for stretchy fabrics, and if you're going to do a lot of washings, it just is a very secure stitch. So Carolyn is a garment sewer and a very good friend of Allbrands. So thank you for telling us that, and let us know if you have any suggestions. So I challenge you to go in your closet, pull out every stretchy garment that you have, and just look at the stitches. So this is the basic stitch for, and let me just zoom in real quick so you can see that. This is a 4-thread overlock stitch. You are going to see this on 99.9% of your clothing. So that's what it looks like. It's got 2 needles that go this way and then 2 loopers, and you can adjust the length and the width of this stitch. But it's great for all-purpose serging, and it stretches great. And then there's another one. So there's multiple variations of that stitch. So you can basically take a needle out, because there's 2 needles and 2 loopers. You could take a unthread a looper or take a needle out and just do tons of variations of that stitch, basically. So we will go to the serger and I'll tell you about those things. So here she is, the new Bernina L850 serger. So this is there's 2 models, the 850 and the 890. The 890 has a black cover plate and the 850 has a silver cover plate. And you'll notice on the 890 there's an intuitive interface, and on the 850 you have your manual selections here. So let's just go over this machine. It's amazing. So just taking it out of the box, it has, let me just show you this. Is one of my favorite things about this machine. And it is the Bernina foot control. So it has a heel click option, which if you look at the needle, it will make the needle go up and down. So see, the needle went down, needle went up. So that's a very great feature to have. And then you can have controlled speed through just like pressing it down harder or lighter. Or there's also a speed adjustment here that will slow it down half speed, which is nice for when you're doing specialty fabrics. So let me see if you'll have any questions yet. Nope, not yet. All right. So another thing that I really love about this machine, and I think that it's a benefit, is the size. At first glance of this machine, I was like, oh my gosh, it's big. But guess what? There's a lot less motion going on when you're serging. It's a very stable machine. I feel like that the area from the needle to the neck, I can actually stick my whole arm in there, which is beneficial if I'm trying to pull things, get my hand in there, which the smaller size sergers, that's a lot more difficult to do. And yeah, so with the size, I think that that's a great thing. And I'll show you actually the underneath of this. Hi, Charlene from South Carolina. Thank you for watching. So I noticed, like, when I tried to pick it up, I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's got some great suction cups on the bottom of the unit, if you can see that. I'll try to move my hand. But it's not going anywhere. And I feel like it really eliminates the need for like any kind of mat or dampening system when you have such great suction cups at the bottom of the machine. It also has a knee lifter, my favorite feature on sewing and serging machines. So that's this mechanism right here. So I did, whenever I first was putting it together, you do have to press it to get it in, like you have to push all the way. And then when you use your knee, guess what? The foot lifts and lowers. And another one of my features that I love, so when you do have your foot up, it has a swing out foot. So when you're threading your needles and you need to put the thread behind the foot, I think that that's so, so great. So let me actually get in a little bit closer so that you guys can see that. So I'm just going to position my camera. Just a moment. Give me just a second to do that so that you don't get seasick. And I'll show you how great that is. All right. So, and apparently this has been a Bernina option on previous models that they brought back, which I think is so, so wonderful. So it just, whenever you're threading your needles, instead of having to put the blade down to go behind the foot, I think that that's awesome, awesome, awesome. And it also has a removable table. So I'm going to move you back again. Let me just so that you don't get seasick. Sorry, guys. All right. Here we go. So there is a removable extension table. And I love, actually, the finish on this is very nice. It's like it's not quite matte, semi-gloss matte, but it's very smooth and it's great quality. And here is the little button that releases the tab here to secure it onto the machine. So guess what? When I take my extension table off, there's a free arm here. So what is a free arm for? So that's for sewing cuffs, sewing pant legs, anything that's tubular you can fit around the free arm there. So yes, and let me go through some of the accessories that come with it as well. But before I do that, I almost forgot the best feature of this machine is the air threading. So that's this here. Let me back you up real quick. All right. So those of you who have used a serger before, tell me, yes, Karen, I agree. That's awesome. So for those of you who have used a serger before, tell me if you have difficulty threading the looper. So basically, for those of you who are new with sergers, you have an upper looper, lower looper, left needle, right needle. And you can change the tension, the width, the length, and there's something called differential feed. And you basically just dial in different recipes, I would say, to get the different stitches. So you're going to be changing threads when you're switching between stitches or when you're just wanting to change your thread colors. So you get like this little recipe card in with the machine. And you have so many different stitches on this machine. And it'll tell you all of the different settings to put it on, which is really cool. So we'll go through that in a minute. But I wanted to show you the air threader, which I think is phenomenal. So there's actually 2 doors on this machine. And at first I was apprehensive, like, why does it need 2 doors? Why doesn't it just have one, just like every other serger on the market? But I love that you can thread the air threading, like this is the upper and lower looper that basically form the stitch. It's basically, if you do your hands like this, that's that's my definition of upper and lower looper. But it covers that area up so that you don't have to have such a big arm, and it keeps this area, I would think, cleaner. So let me just show you how easy this machine is to thread. So I'm just going to clip everything off from the top, and we're just going to do a little fun threading. Now, how many of you are scared? If you're scared right now, don't be scared, because sergers are not scary, especially when they thread themselves, right? Hi, Cynthia from Louisiana. It's so good to see you. Thanks for watching. So one thing I really love about this machine, I've been doing a lot of videos on sergers lately because I think that they're more important or just important than a sewing machine. And y'all chime in why you think a serger may be more important or less important than or just as important as a sewing machine. It gives you a secure stitch. It basically, you can do most functions on the serger. You just can't do buttonholes, decorative stitch, but it's more versatile, I think, than a sewing machine because it has stretch and everything. So anyway, Threading, like on other sergers, I would have to stand up at this point to thread my upper looper. Right now, I can just literally lay it in and it clips just like that. So I'm making sure that my foot is up because my tension discs are going to be open here. And the thread is just going to lay right into that tension very easily. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my other thread ready. And that's this one. If I don't pull it off the top. Let's see. I think you're going to like this machine because I do too. And everyone that I've shown it to so far has been so amazed. So amazed. So here's the air threader. So to initiate that, there's this little dial here. And it gives you a diagram of, okay, so this is going to be the little covers for this area whenever you start to initiate your air thread. So when you click this on and then you move your handle just a little bit forward, it's going to, you hear that click, and that's basically these tubes initiating so that it will thread the upper and lower looper. Another reason why I love this machine over other air threading machines is it is serious with the air that comes. You don't have to put an inch down of thread to have it suck it through the machine. So basically, instead of having a button like on other bottles, this one you just press the foot control down below. So I'll just show you that. So you just like, if you press it, you can hear it's like making a kind of an angry woman humming noise, like, I don't know, like it's time to go, you know? So it's through the foot control, which is unique, and I really like that, instead of having like a button. So basically, all you have to do is have like a long tail here. I can take and pull up your hair when you do this, because I don't know. I was thinking I should wear a ponytail for this video because look, it already sucked it through. Okay. And then I'm going to suck this one through. And it's like, I just have to get the thread kind of close and it sucks it through. That's how strong it is. And then it's going to shoot it out through there. Did you see that? Did y'all see that? How it just pops out of there? So let me get a little bit closer and bear with me. I know how to use sergers and sewing machines, but technology isn't my strong suit. So I'll try not to get you too seasick here. But whenever, I'll just pull these threads out. So let's not make any engineers unhappy, and we'll pull from the back. And let's start this again. So I'm going to pull these two threads down here in my hand. See that? I'm going to go over here and I'm going to press my foot control. The air is going to pull the threads through. See? 1, 2, and then I just make a little tail. Go over here and look at the magic. This is where the magic happens. You ready? Let's see. And there it goes. It's just popping out. So I think that that's really, really great. So this is your upper looper, and that's your lower looper. And your lower looper goes over your upper looper. And then when you're done, you just disengage this, close this door. So you'll see, do you see the tubes here? That's what threads it by air, which is really cool. Love that. And then you get some onboard tools with this as well. And they're right here. So this takes a special needle. It is a Bernina needle, and it's a ELX 705CF needle. So that's the needle system that it uses. And that's available in all manufacturers of needles that I'm aware of. So And another thing I love, so in some other models that I won't talk about, it's like you have to pull, like, and it makes like this clunk noise whenever you put these in and out. On the Bernina, it just like slides in very easily, each tool. So you have your tweezers, which I actually have not used yet, surprisingly, because the air threaders didn't require it to go in. And I have so much room back here that I haven't had to stick my arm through. I can stick my arm through and not my tweezers. And it has a needle threader on it, which is great. So we'll get to the needle threader in a moment. But I wanted to show you the other thing. So you have a cleaning brush that comes with it. And if you have ever serged before, you know that they're a little bit messy. So you have to definitely make sure that you clean your machine. Now, this is a needle holder accessory. So you're going to have stitches where you need to remove the right or the left needle. So there's two needles in a serger. It's right and left, okay? And that is these two right here, right and left. You can see that. So that gives you your third and fourth thread on this serger. So when I need to change my needle, which it will show a little later, you just take this little guy, and I can tell you, if you're trying to hold the needle to take it out, it's gonna fall in here. So this prevents the needle from falling into this area and rolling back, and you may never get it back again, which is something that has happened to me before. So you just basically like stick that around your needle, and then you take the screwdriver that's in the door here to loosen and tighten that. So that is very easy to use. I do love the tool holder. Yes, the needle holder is great. And on this side, it has another needle threader on it. So let me just show you guys how easy the needle threader is to use. And then we'll get into the actual stitch quality of the machine, which is the most important part of it. There's so many things to say about this machine. So to thread the needles, it's the same as before on the top. So when you're up here, I can literally have my foot up, so my tension discs. And let me show you those tension discs because I think this is great. So I'm going to have this here. Let's just go up just a little bit so I can show you the top. Okay. So there are, oh, that's a good shot. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see those tension discs? Okay, this is my foot down, and this is my foot up. There you go. That's a good shot. And so again, I don't have to stand up. It just clips in. Clip and clip. Love that. It's so easy to do that. I don't have to stand up. I don't have to maneuver. It's just very comfortable to thread those. So then once you get it through here, you can see that your thread is laying in between the tension discs, which is important and something that, you know, if you are cutting corners, you know, sometimes you can miss that going through those tension discs. But this is a superior system because it's just so easy. It's not the knobs on the front that you have to wrap around. So that's called lay-in tension, which is a benefit for serging. So let's go down, and we're just going to thread the needles real quick. Okay. And tell me if y'all want to see anything in particular. But we're just having fun with the serger today, exploring the possibilities. So I just follow the green, go down, down. And then this little guy moves right and left, and that's your needle threader. So let me put it on the right one. And then thread my needle. If I can see, I'm trying to do this around the camera. All right, so there we go. There's our right needle is threaded. And then guess what? Normally I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have to put this thread underneath my foot, right? And that's going to be really hard. Let me get my tweezers out so I can pull it. And then I can't stick my arm in here. I have to go around this way. So it's so much more ergonomic. You can open the foot up to put the thread underneath. And that's a feature you cannot get on other sergers. I'm so blown away, I guess you could say, about that pivoting foot. I think that's just great. So I can put that thread conveniently and everything else under my foot now, and then just go ahead and thread my top thread here. So it just goes on just like a sewing machine. So easy. And then it pulls the thread through the eye of the needle. So it's that easy. And I love the ergonomics of it, of this machine. Let me show you something else. I'm going to just remove this little piece so that you can see. And I may remove that logo too. Let me know if that gets in the way, guys. Please show the free arm feature. Yes, Libby, I will definitely show the free arm feature for you. And let me reposition my camera. I just got the new daylight lamp. Not sure if y'all can see it. Let me just show it to you real quick. The daylight is so great. Look at this. It goes all the way around. That's the Daylight Slimline 3. It pivots all the way around and it gives me like full surface area of light. And then if somebody makes you mad while you're in your sewing room, you could just take it off and wow, you know. No, just kidding. That was a joke. But it's really cool how it just plugs in and it stays lit. So that's really cool. All right. So what were we going to show next? Okay, I got a thread. I threaded my needle. Everything's underneath. I can put it back on this thing. So I actually, this is, the upper model is a Coverhem machine, and there's an attachment that goes on that. So the 850 does not do Coverhem. It's the 890, which we'll talk about later. But you can totally have, we'll get into that later because that's just something fun. Fun to talk about. Okay, so Libby, let me get my sleeve for you, and I'll show you that free arm, which is great. I'm not gonna embroider. I'm not gonna search on my Allbrands shirt, but basically, like say you have a cuff of some sort. Okay, here's a cuff on a shirt. It would be very difficult for me to have this stretched out going straight into the machine. Let me back up just a little bit so you can see this. How's that angle, Libby? Here we go. So basically, having a free arm on a serger is imperative in my opinion, especially on like stretchy things. So let's just say like a cuff or something like a tube of some sort. Like it just helps you get, let's just like pretend this is, well, that's not a good example. Here we go. Basically, Libby, cuffs, pant legs, hard to, like anything cylindrical like this that you're trying to serge is going to be difficult to lengthen out unless you have something for it to physically wrap around like this. So I really like that. Like you can literally have it wrapping around and serging the edge instead of having to flatten it and like pull the back over and hope that you don't cut through the layers of material that you're not meaning to cut through, which is cool. So yeah, small children's cuffs. I agree with that as well. So let's see what happened. Technical difficulties. Okay. So here's another thing. This is the extension table. We talked about the included accessories. I'll just show you the accessory case. And I did an unboxing video, which I'll put out soon. So you have your trim tray, and it has like the prongs on the back that just go on just like that. And that's nice that you don't have to take off the trim tray to open the door. That's another benefit of the two-door, I guess, design that they came up with. So you get a toolbox with it, and in the toolbox you get some stuff. So you have like these little plastic spools that go on the back of the machine. This is for like the larger cones to hold them in place. Some spool caps to put on top of the cones so they don't get pulled off of the machine, and some thread nets. So thread nets are for when you have like a, I use it a lot on woolly nylon, but it keeps the thread in place, and it helps you so that it feeds off of the spool and doesn't fall underneath the spool. It just, it prevents a lot of potential roadblocks. Oh, here's a really cool accessory that comes with this one. It is a seam guide. So this one is really cool. So say I have, like, I cut my fabric to a certain seam allowance or something, but I don't necessarily want to have that seam allowance as my serge stitch, I guess. So this just like clips on here just like that, and you can move it right and left so that it's like the fabric runs along this little edge here. So I think that that's a definite benefit that it has that. There's also tons of accessories that's going to come out for this machine. They're not available yet, but I'll show you. You get the instruction manual, of course, and it's actually, I love how many pictures are in this manual. There's tons and tons of photos, and it's very well laid out, and it's spiral bound, so you can fold it, and it's just easy to navigate. So you get the manual. Oh, and guys, the manual has, like, it will tell you in there, like, your different fabrics that you have, what stitches to use for those. So it's really, really, really beneficial to have a good manual, and they have a great manual, a phenomenal manual for this machine. And then you also get an accessory book that looks like this with the machine. And I'll show you some of the feet for sergers that they have out, and they're going to be available very soon. So this machine is actually available now, which is great. So here's their new ambassador for the L890. And here's the different models that are kind of like current, I guess. And it'll tell you each foot. So of course you get like the general serging foot, and it'll tell you what it's suitable for and which models it's available for. So these, I know that they're going to have the two clear cover stitch feet. There's a, oh, I see, not too clear, but it's for different models, G1 and G2. Chain stitch foot, cover stitch compensating foot, elasticator foot, blind stitch foot. Okay, here's a double fold binder attachment for G2. So we'll go over those in a separate video, but I wanted you to see that there are going to be feet that are going to come out for this machine. And hopefully we'll get a bundle together of those so that when you buy the machine, you could just get all of the feet very easily. You also get this great recipe. I call it my recipe book, guys, because and then you know what I did last night? I cooked all of the recipes and I made notes of every different stitch. And let me show you a few of my favorites. Just honorable mention. Libby with the 850, you get the standard foot with the machine, which is suitable for most things. So this is actually one of my favorites, number 13, which is a 2-thread rolled hem. And I'll just show y'all that up close because I used not a contrasting thread. So I do love that stitch, and you could see the great quality of that stitch. It's beautiful, actually. I love that. Another strong contender is the, oh my gosh, this one is so cool. And there's so many different things that you could do other than this with these stitches, but it's so cool. So this is my 3-thread flat lock right needle, number 6. So you can do some like decorative techniques, like doing like this kind of, I don't know, it looks like stitches to me, but on the outside of a, you could actually use this kind of like, because it's a flat lock, you could use it like on the outside of a yoga pant leg or something like that. So I really liked the look of that stitch. Here it is again with a variegated on top. And then like I used the white on the bottom. So that's another thing you can do too, is like put different colors in the different loopers or needles and come up with a totally different look to your stitch. So, but most of the time, I think the 2 most important stitches is the 4-thread overlock with integrated safety seam, which is like the basic settings on the machine, which I'll show you those as well. This one's beautiful. And I didn't even use woolly nylon for these. This is just regular thread. So this is number 8, which is just the 3-thread rolled hem. That's another really popular stitch that you're going to use on the outside of napkins and things like that. And I have never had such ease with a serger where I can just dial everything in and it stitches out perfectly without adjustments. I don't know if I'm just lucky or if this machine is manufactured just that well, which that's probably the case. Here's another beautiful one. 3-thread narrow seam. Love that one. So there's so many different things. And on all of these different stitches, you can adjust the length and the width and the colors and your differential feed. So let's just go over those different features so that you guys can see, because I know we have a few newbies here. Hey, Jenny, thanks for watching. Yeah, so yeah, and I agree, bundles are great. So hopefully they come out with the bundle kit that includes all of the feed, but if Bernina doesn't, Allbrands will. Don't worry about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and take off my sliding tray, and I'm going to pull out my recipe book, and we'll just go over setting a stitch. So is there a particular stitch that y'all want to see on this machine? How about let's do 3-thread rolled hem. Okay, that sounds fun. That one was beautiful. So it's going to have your settings on here. So what's great about the model above this, which should I let the cat out of the bag? You don't have to do any of these steps that I'm showing you. So this one does have the air threading, but you do have to set the stitches, the 850. It has all of the great convenience features, but it doesn't have the intuitive touchscreen interface where you say, I want to do this stitch, and it automatically sets your tensions, and it doesn't set the width, but I'll show you on the side of the machine, which is suction cup down, so it's going to take me some effort to move it over. Okay, so you have your length here. So I was playing around with a standard serge stitch, and I put the length all the way down, and look at that cool technique that it did. Like, it kind of looks like an edging of some sort. It's like a fat rolled hem, which I thought was really cool. And then, you know what else is fun? And I think I don't know if I have my sample for this, but actually we'll sew that out real quick because I'm set up for the regular stitch right now. So let me just, I'll show you. So this is your length, right? So when you put it on like the R right here, that's like going to make it more like the rolled hem. And this longer. And then this is called differential feed. So for those of you who don't know what differential feed is, so there's multiple sets of feed dogs on the machine. And basically there's like a front feed dog and a back feed dog. And when you adjust that, it adjusts the rates of which it feeds the fabric backwards. So if you want to gather, the back feed dog's going to move different from the front feed dog, and it'll create a gathering effect. If you want to have like a curvy edge, you can do the other side of the differential feed. So let's just set it to 7. And I'm going to go to, oh my gosh, I'm being so crazy right now. I'm just kind of going all over the place. If you want to see anything in particular, let me know. Yes, Jenny, I agree. Okay, so if I'm going to have like a stretchy material, and I'm all threaded, right? Everything's set. So this is my width. Before I get into that, let me just show y'all. Okay. So width here, do you see how this door is opening? And the knife can be engaged and taken down very easily. Right here, just like that. And that's even better for when you're trying to get your thread underneath your foot. So if I just want to go to like my standard width, it's going to have like a little dot on it. There's also an O and an R right here. So let me just... Before we get into differential feed, I have to tell you about the settings. So this is your width. Do you see how it's moving the knife? This is the knife. You see that? That's what cuts the edge of the fabric. It moves the knife right and left, just like that. And this O and R right here initiates the stitch finger to go forward and back for rolled hem. So you don't want the stitch finger for rolled hem. And then this is a unique feature to Bernina called my micro thread control. And basically, oh my gosh, how do I explain this so that I don't confuse you guys too much? Because I think it's so cool. So most sergers, when you set your width of the knife, do you see the knife? I'll just open it. You see the knife moving right and left? Do you see the stitch finger also moving right and left? So when you're making a stitch, and I'll just make a regular stitch right now on regular fabric, I can adjust that stitch finger. Let's get in real close here. I know y'all want to see it in action, so virtually. But we actually have the 850 in stock, so call the store to make sure it's set up. So yeah, so I'm using my knee lifter to lower my foot down, which is so great because I can maintain my hands on my fabric. I'm not doing a cuff, so I'm going to put my extension table back on, which it just, oh, and look how I can put my hand back there, which is so great, to slide on the table, just like that. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put my trim tray on. So do you see this knob is now at 0? And I guess you can't really see my stitch finger moving. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Okay. Do you see? Where did the stitch finger go? I have to get closer for you to see it. I'm going to get as close as possible to this thing. So whenever I move my micro thread control, do you see my stitch finger moving right and left? So that's going to pull the loop of the thread over. So like say sometimes you have the fabric where it rolls. I'll make it like really short so you can see. It'll compensate for that. So this is, if you want to do slow-mo, this is how a serge stitch is made, everybody. Isn't that exciting? Okay, so I'm going to look at that stitch. Oh, I need to set my length to a regular. Let's do that real quick. We're going to have a regular stitch length, so you'll see the difference in that. So look at this. Okay, so this was my short stitch length. With that stitch finger all the way in. And it actually did really well. But do you see how it's kind of wanting to pull? Like, have you ever had it to where it curls the fabric under sometimes? And you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And you're having to change a bunch of settings. Instead, like if your fabric curls, you can move that stitch finger out so that it, so let me move my knife all the way in and the stitch finger out, and I'll show you what that looks like. Because you'll get like a little like hang off the edge, which is pretty neat. So we're going to serge this. Let's see. Let me try this. Oh yeah, here we go. I need my, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Does that ever happen to you? Where you just get this, like, you can adjust it so where, see that? And that's kind of like a cool, like, decorative thing. I think that would be so neat for like an edge. But you have the ability to hang off or bring in the edge through micro thread control. So I'm just going to put everything on regular now, and we're going to talk about serging again. But I think that that is such a great feature, especially when you're having issues with like curling, the fabric curling underneath. You can pull that edge out and push it back in. So yeah, so I think that that's really exciting. And then we have differential feed. So is there anything that you want to see in particular? I was going to play with differential. So let's put it on 7. And I probably need like a stretchy fabric for this. And I'm going to put my length down and my width. I will just leave that the way it is. So a wonderful thing about serging with knits and stretch materials is that the serger stitch will stretch as well, which is wonderful. And look how quiet. Y'all hear how quiet this machine is? I love it. Okay, so if I'm gonna pull, I can pull this back and make a very, look at this really cool, it's gonna like do some scallops and stuff on there. Let's do it the other way and see what happens. So yeah, oh, I love it. So it's like, it gives it a scallopy edge. So I think we're like nearing the end. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Always another machine. Yeah, and I agree, Carol, but I just had to show you the serger because I think that it's just phenomenal. So there's 2 models available. And let me show you. The one that I have is a serger only. It's the L850 Coverhem air threading machine. So you have to set all of those settings, the width, all of the needles, the length, and the differential feed has to be set on that machine. Guess what? There's a new one coming out, and Pan Mashi from now Bernina is going to be joining me in a live in 2 weeks, and we're going to be talking about the L890. So that is this model right here. You can see it looks a little bit different. There is a touch screen on the front, and there's also, you'll see that there's no dials on the side because that's all in the intuitive touch screen of the machine. So you will see on the front there's a width control. We'll have to play with it with Pam to get all of the ins and outs of it. But basically, when you choose a stitch on the machine, it sets all of the settings digitally, and then you can just stitch it out, and you can still adjust it depending on, if you want to make a different type of stitch from that type of stitch. So that's wonderful. So I think that that's a really, really cool option. So, and I almost forgot to tell you that we have a great deal on that. So we actually have a great deal on both of these machines. The L850, which we currently have in stock, that's the one behind me. We are going to, which is available now, so you don't have to pre-order this one because we actually have them in stock. The Allbrands is doing a special where you get to pick one option. So you get 48 months, 0% financing. You can choose the big book of Serging. You can choose a bag set. You can choose a trade-in, that and much more. We actually, I talked to our owner before, and he said, well, if they just want another cover stitch machine, then just give them one of those as their pick one. So I think that that's really fun that he offered that as a special. So let's get into that. So a cover stitch is only available on the L890, which is the one with the black faceplate and the intuitive screen. So that's going to be your popular 2 threads on top and, loop-de-loop on the back is what one of my friends likes to call it. Here's another example of a Coverhem, and it may be a little hard to see because it's dark, but on that machine, the L890, there's 3 holes for the air threader. So one of the holes is for the Coverhem loop, like the loop on the bottom that's so hard to thread on a manual Coverhem machine. It's now in the air threading of that machine. So that's so exciting. I don't know why I'm blurry. Let's just press the buttons. Okay, I'm back again. So yes, why not? Why not have the machine just do all the settings for you and threading the Coverhem? And I mean, I can't imagine, like, I guess some people want a dedicated Coverhem machine and a dedicated Overlock machine. But when you get the L890, it's so automated that, like, there's not as much setting because there's a 3rd hole for that Coverhem. So I think that is going to be the awesome part of this machine. So with the L890, you get $1,000 in free gifts. So let me tell you what those are. So, and it's all available on our website, allbrands.com, if you want to do some research. But if you pre-order the Bernina L890 through September 15th with a $500 deposit, which is refundable, you'll receive the big book of Serging. Oh my gosh, I should have told you about that first. It is like the Bible of Serging, and I think that it's kind of like a playbook for a serger. You get the Suitcase system, and you get 25% off of the Laura Star system. So if you guys have been watching my channel, you will know I have the Laura Star beside me. Every sewer will know that an iron and a serger are just as important as a sewing machine. They're not, they're all for different purposes, but they will help you achieve the end result. So it's important to have good tools when you're doing your sewing. And if you have a top of the line sewing machine and a $25 iron, it's time to upgrade. And plus, this new Laura Star will, it's been proven to kill 99.9% of bacteria, and in lab tests, it's been proved to kill coronavirus on surfaces, which that's exciting as well. So you get 25% off of that. Bonnie, I could quote you a price, but I would suggest that you come into the store because I can't quote that price. So that's all I'm going to say. I think if you guys saw Bernina's live earlier today, they were quoting some MSRP. So dealers are ready to give you a great offer on these machines. So let's see. Let's see what else we got. Oh, the differences between the two. I have a comparison chart that I did put in the comment section below, which is so helpful. So another difference between the overlock only and the combination L890 is that the L890 is, let's see, maximum sewing speed. Oh, it looks like, I don't know if I have the right information there. Looks like the L850 says 1,500 stitches per minute and the L890 says 1,350. So that's interesting. We'll just have to look into that. The programmable sewing speed is on the L890, but the L850 has that half speed button that I showed you back there, and it also has the speed in the foot control. Let's see, speed selection stitch. They all have the knee lifter. They all have the great Bernina foot control. They both have the free arm. They both have the large sewing area so that you can get your right hand and your left hand on either side of the needle. Let's see what the differences are. Oh, so on the 890, there's a feature where you can actually turn the light off on the machine, but have it still on. So if you're like prone to migraines or headaches or anything, or if you're just tired of looking at lights, the L890 has a separate light switch on it so that you can dim the light. Let's see. The L890 has the color touch screen. That's the big deal. That's the integrated assistant. It's also got this creative consultant in the top of the line 890 Coverhem combo machine. So it basically, you can tell, instead of like what I would have to look up in the manual with the L850, in the L890, it's all on the screen. So if you're like, hey, I'm sewing knits, tell me what selections that I need to have, and it will walk you through that directly from the machine. And there's also video on the machine, which is so cool. Let's see, what else? It also has like the on-screen help icon and the built-in tutorials in the machine. Hey, Madeline, it's good to see you again. Yes, we're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We have 6 Bernina locations throughout Louisiana and Texas. So where are you from? Let us know. Let's see. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Oh, there's a lot. There's like a whole list of things that the 890 has. So that's why I'm so excited that Pam Mashi is going to be joining us in 2 weeks. Not next Monday, but the following Monday. And so I hope that you all join us for that, because she is the Serger queen. And I contacted Bernina because I knew that I wanted to bring you guys the best representatives to show. And I said, well, when they see Pam Mashi, they're going to know that it's Serger time. So I'm so glad that we were able to get her scheduled for you guys. So just a recap. For those of you who have known, I probably haven't slept very much in the past 2 weeks because we had the Brother B2B, and we had our big reveals, which we were doing through Facebook Lives. And that was last week. But this week, Bernina had their big convention, which was all virtual, and was really interesting being able to Zoom meet with everybody and do everything from home. Oh, Madeline, good. Come visit us. I love it. Can't wait to meet you in person. Where was I? Oh, okay. So we just had our virtual BU, and they have other machines that came out too. But I got to tell you, I'm the most excited about these Sergers because I get to sit and play with them, and I'm very, very impressed with this Serger. So they have it's magic. They have a Bernette, a new Bernette. Let me see if I have a picture of that. Oh my goodness. A new Bernina L850. So let me share my screen with you guys, and I'll pull that up. Oh, here we go. How about a video? I'll show you that one, because this one is going to be a perfect price point, and it will be available online. So if you're watching from outside Louisiana and Texas, you don't have a Bernina dealer close to you, these are actually overseen by the Bernina company. And let's see if it's showing. Here we go. All right. Find my tab. I have to close some tabs. It's just crazy in here today. So here we go. Let's watch this little video. Okay, just looking at it, if y'all can see, I love the area to the right of the needle. It's very similar to the L8 series. And if you can see in the title, it also says airlock, which I'm sure is going to be shown in just a moment. So, and look at that trim tray. It's actually a lot bigger on this model, but it looks like that on the Bernette, you'll have to take it off to open the side door on the right. Oh, look at that. A knee lifter and an extension table. Oh my goodness. And micro thread control. Do you remember that feature that I showed you where you can, so your knife moves right to left, but you can also then adjust your stitch finger from right to left to compensate for like having it over the edge or closer in? Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. The only other models I know of that have the micro thread control are the L450 and L460, which are previous year's models, and they don't have air threading. So that's really exciting.
Bernette, for all my ideas.
Yay! Oh my goodness. So what do y'all think of that? So not only are they coming out with the two Sergers, the L8 series, they still have the wonderful L450 and L460. But to get a Coverhem combination, you will have to get the L890 machine. I know I'm throwing a bunch of numbers at you guys. That's so crazy. Oh my gosh, Renee, you're so sweet. I thank y'all. I know I usually have guests on, so I was like, I'm just talking all by myself today. So it's so nice to see you all joining me. So we're coming to the end. I also wanted to let you guys know that there is a, you can go ahead and pre-order the special edition machines. So let me just show you. I had to paint my nails because I was so inspired. This purple glittery color. I know I'm not usually not this wild, but the new machines are so gorgeous. I love the purple faceplate, and they come with tons of extras. If you buy the big 790, you get the 480 free with it, with the bag set and all the included accessories. And then the 480, you can purchase the smaller one, the sewing machine. You can purchase and get tons of extras with that as well. So yeah, oh my gosh, I've talked for an hour. I hope I didn't talk your head off, but we have something fun in store. I promised a giveaway. So if y'all haven't experienced the Big Book of Feet by Bernina, Bernina makes, they make all of their feet they attach to the machine very easily, but they're all metal and include the shank on the foot, which is really cool. It's like I think a nice, a sturdy design, I would say. And they have a Big Book of Feet, which is really cool. But now, so this is like the playbook for serging. They have one called the Big Book of Serging. And it's going to be like a masterclass book. And it's a guide to Bernina Overlock machines. So I'm going to be, if you're a local customer, you'll win the Big Book of Serging. If not, I'll give you a voucher for the equivalent to shop on our website. Because Bernina, you cannot, I can't send it outside of Louisiana and Texas, although I would love to. I would get in trouble. So let's pick a name from the comments. Go ahead and chime in. Let me know if you're watching, and I will randomly pick a winner. All right. Nancy, congratulations. Just direct message me your email address, phone number, and address, and I would love to get that over to you. And I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope that this was informative to you guys. I know it was just kind of an impromptu. Yes, Carolyn. And if you want to see anything in particular, please let me know, because Pam and I will definitely go over even more, because I just showed you the 850. She's going to have the 890, which we don't have yet. We're going to have to start taking pre-orders on it. But if you pre-order it, you get tons of extras, $1,000, up to $1,000 in extras. So, oh my gosh. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being creative. Thank you for being loyal to Allbrands and joining us every week. And we really appreciate you. And we hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Keep sewing. Do new things. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone, because I think that that's the best way to learn, and we're here to help. So have a great day, and we love you. Bye.